go? It's Justin McDonald here with another results required message for you. And you can find me if you look at the social those handles, the @ sign, right? @ results required on many of the social media platforms. Feel free to send me an email, justinmcdonaldusa@gmail.com. Also, if you go to linktr.ee, those Linktree sites, it's also Linktree/results required. Thank you all for listening and or watching. Today, we got a good one. And it has to do with offers. So, before you even think about running an ad, you got to have a truly awesome offer in place. And this is coming straight from me. Before you even think about running that ad, you got to truly have an awesome offer in place. And that goes for all of you that have things on Etsy and eBay and Amazon and Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist. You know that it's pretty standard, but where I got like this almost like an epiphany that I started to run with was when I was studying not a very well known person in the business. I'm talking about the marketing business and entrepreneurship. When you think about some of the quote unquote gurus, there's actually somebody that comes to mind, or two people that don't get referenced a lot. And one of them is Andre Chaperone. And he had put together a program with somebody, his name was Peter Spapin. And they created Tiny is Mighty. So this is after after Andre Chaperone's arm, if you're familiar with that. This stuff's like after all that Ocean's 4 stuff and all the other things that he was doing. But this was the Tiny is Mighty. And this came out this course came out just a few years ago. And Peter, who was Andre's partner in this project, I think I mentioned before, he's no longer with us, but he left us with such great marketing tools or weapons, I guess you can say. And I'm not going to let the secret out to everybody, but there are some things that he said that stuck, and I wrote them down on the card too. So even though this came from me, it's kind of like a dedication to Peter, who's no longer with us, and Andre Chaperone, who shout out to him too for putting this program together. It's one of the best programs I think I've ever bumped into, but that's another story. Just kind of paraphrasing Peter Spapin too. He was kind of saying, like, people often misunderstand the term offer. It's not what you sell. It's not what you sell, right? The product or how you sell it. Like your tricks, the tactics, etc. So it's not about what you sell. It's kind of like making a match. It's kind of like a match made in heaven. When you think of a compelling offer, when you think of an offer that they can't refuse. And I know Gary Halbert and Joe Polish and Dan Kennedy would say things like, it's not what you sell. It's not what you sell, it's who you're selling to. It's not what you're selling, it's who are you selling to. And just to kind of paraphrase something else that Peter Spapin said too, was that a great offer holds everything that it takes. A great offer holds everything that takes your most desired prospect from the first step, right? Discovering you, whoever you are. Buying. Okay, so yeah. A great offer holds everything that takes your most desired prospect, the first step, to discovering you, the last step. Buying from you and everything in between. So the first step is discovering you, and the last step is buying from you. And everything in between that is the offer. And an offer isn't just like, hey, here's this great price. Some people think that's all an offer is. No, like what I remember from my like learning about what Russell Brunson would say too about having offers and why nobody's buying your product or service. It's because of two things. It's either because your offer sucks, right? You just have a really crappy offer. That's why nobody's buying the thing. Or it's because you suck. I'm sorry, but these are the two reasons why nobody's going to be buying your stuff. It's because your offer sucks or you suck. So you gotta create a better offer, and you can suck less by being a better marketer, because there's no substitution for good marketing. You can't just outsource good marketing. So instead of just lowering your price because you think, well, my offer sucks, so why don't I just lower the price? You could do that. But you might find that it's more profitable, and you probably will get a better buyer. It might take a little longer, but what you want to do is see if you can bundle and bulk up whatever it is that you have to offer. So instead of just selling products, because products are just commodities, right? If the only thing that's differentiating what you do or what you sell is price, then you are straight up a commodity. So instead of selling products, instead of having an inventory of products that you sell, right? Like, how exhausting is it when you go to a restaurant, like a restaurant that's like Denny's or something, and they give you like a 20-page disgusting germ-filled menu with like at least 100 different things on there. You can get breakfast, lunch, or dinner and dessert. And also the people that there's also we're hiring cooks scribbled on a piece of paper taped to the front of the place, and the cooks that are there look pretty questionable. Like, I don't know if you ever seen the movie Waiting, but it would make them look good. Okay? Now, a few things are going to probably run through your head. If you're hungover or you're drunk, you might just put your blinders onto that and not give a crap. But if you're sober and you're hungry, you might just order French fries and leave, or just leave, right? Because the point I'm trying to say is, like, overwhelming people with a million options and a great price isn't exactly the best way to form an offer. What if you had less things or just only had offers? Like, really, your USP, what could make you stand apart from everybody else, is that you just have compelling offers, and everybody else is just selling products based on price, and they're going to have a hard time keeping up with their business because you're over here just creating different exciting offers. So like maybe there's a bonus item that could go with it. Maybe they need to act on something before a certain time. So it's like, okay, you might decide to lower the price, but it's disguised as like a story, basically. Like you're just like, such and such happened, this event happened, XYZ, and because of that, I can sell it cheaper, but you have to like act upon it by such and such a date. Plus, if you get it, it might come with an extra thing or something. Like that's an offer. Like if you can add some kind of incentive to it to get somebody to buy other than just the price, I mean that's an offer. I mean, probably where upsells or downsells really started to get more trendy is like when you think about fast food, um, like McDonald's or whoever was like, do you want fries with that? Like, before it was all about just getting a good burger, which is what's on the consumer's mind. But if you should know this, like fast food restaurants, especially, they make bank off soda and French fries, like huge profits. When you add, like, just take soda for instance, a little bit of sugar syrup with whatever other chemicals and things they throw in there, water, seltzer water, or soda water, whatever you want to call it, and then tons of ice. And then when you factor it in, even when it's in a value meal, we'll get to that in a second, it's still probably a dollar, a couple dollars and change. And it probably costs them, you include the price of the cup and straw and lid, probably, I'm assuming, less than 50 cents, probably less than a quarter for some places. So they're making how many times? Potatoes. Potatoes grow like in such an abundance, and it's basically a native root. Is it a vegetable? I don't know what it is. But potatoes are awesome. We like potatoes. We have lots and lots of potatoes. Um, Especially like the bigger food giants have giant potato fields, and they know that potatoes have a very excellent profit margin too. Once you break potatoes down into chips, into French fries, and all these other things, all these other companies are able to turn a pretty good profit because of the low cost of potatoes. Especially when like the closer to the source that they can get, and the more of a share they can get from the farmer, the price probably would go down as far as how much it costs for them to acquire the potatoes. And then once, I don't know how much they're paying per pound, right? But I'm not a farmer, but like potatoes is one of those cash crops in our country. So going back into fast food, same thing. What do they charge you? It probably costs maybe 50 cents, we'll say 75 cents at most, I don't think it costs that much, but probably less than a quarter, I would say. I would say they're paying more for the packaging, right? For French fries. And how much do they charge for those, right? On its own or in a value meal. So these restaurants, these quote unquote restaurants, we know which ones they are. Fast food chains, fast food franchises, the big players. We know now, well, how the heck can they sell a burger so cheap? Well, we don't need to talk about the burger itself, do we? Because they do cut costs. We won't go there. The thing is that they make such a good profit off the French fries and the soda. They can afford to basically break even or make less money or no money off the burger. Hey, if you want to think on a bigger scale, RV places do this too. Car companies do. I mean, car lots do this too. They'll sell things to you like cheap, so cheap where they're barely making money. RVs and such. But what they kill you later is on the financing. We'll talk about that some other time. But like going back to McDonald's, they make so much. We just talked about where they make all the profit. So it's like if you think about McDonald's is really in the business of selling French fries. I know it doesn't seem that way, but they're like, but this goes all back to like the genius of, do you want fries with that? Now, if you think of value meals, right? Those are all offers. Um, so those burger places, those fast food chains, they sell, I would say, a good amount of value meals, or they used to, or they did at one time, or they do more now than they, or maybe they do less now. But either way, like people are attracted to offers because they're like, well, what idiot would buy a burger, fries, and a drink? Like, duh, get the value meal because you're gonna save a couple dollars or whatever. Um, but those are the kind of that's the kind of mentality you want your client to be. You want your client to be a value shopper instead of like, geez, I only got $5 in my pocket. Why don't I get? And they're just like trying to find the cheapest way out, right? I hate to say it, but your business, I don't hate, I'm not going to say I hate to say it. I'm glad to say it 'cause I'm going to tell you the truth. You don't want, obviously, the problem with McDonald's, oops, I said their name, um, is that look at what their sign says. Their slogan is billions and billions served. Like, wouldn't you rather get the billions and billions of dollars that they have, but have less clients that are spending more money? You get what I'm saying? So, like, even though McDonald's has a killer system, they have the best way to get that cash in the register, like the quickest. Like, I think it used to be like 90 seconds. You wait in line till you get your order. Like, they're all about speed. Gary Halbert's one of his catchphrases. Money is attracted to speed, right? So they're just wondering how we get that line moving. Because once somebody enters a lot and makes the decision to go and eat at McDonald's, there's no going back, right? Once you're in that line in the drive-through, you're not they got you, right? They got you. You're ordering something, especially when you're 2 or 3 cars deep and you have people behind you honking the horn, waiting for you to pull up. Anyways, they do have a brilliant way of getting that money in the register, right? Quick, very quick. And that's why I have a point at McDonald's. I spilled the beans on that one. Burger King, Wendy's, all the other fast food, all the other burger joints in the pretty much in the world, in this country at least, they just still haven't figured it out yet. And it's like you gotta have that speed. That's what. That's why it's called fast food. That's their unique selling proposition. We sell speed, basically. I mean, not the drug. I don't know what they put in their food, but they're selling like quick food, right? And what's really on their mind is how quick can we get that line moving? And can we please sell as much French fries as possible because that's why we make the most money. The next being soda, or I don't know, maybe they make more money off soda than French fries. I can't tell, but they're really like, let's sell as much soda and French fries as we can. The burgers, that's great. The burgers we break even on. Let's just keep pushing out the soda and fries. So make sure you sell value meals. Make sure you always say, do you want fries with that? Do you want fries with that? And that's a conditioned buyer. I mean, yeah, it's a cheap shot because they're just buying food, but there's no better way, there's no better time to offer somebody French fries, or if it's a different restaurant, all you restaurateurs out there, all you people that own restaurants or have a friend or a buddy that owns like a greasy Italian restaurant, hole in the wall, taco place or whatever, there's a lot of philosophy that you can actually pick up on from this too, and not just about like this, not just about the speed, about getting the order out and all that. I mean, that's for fast food, but you know what I mean, like having that truly great offer in place is what it's all about. Now, as far as like other restaurants go too, like a good tip is like think about restaurants that serve dessert. Now, if you were going to sell somebody a piece of cake or a cupcake or dessert, when's the best time to sell it to them? When they're already preconditioned to want to buy it. And there's no better time to do it is when somebody's already sitting down at the table, whining and dining, whining about their food, drinking wine, eating food, and you know what I mean? You can have a whole dessert carousel spinning in somebody's face all day, people's faces all day, and tease them, and you might not ever get them to buy it. But if they're sitting down eating amongst friends, what's a common thing that happens too? It's like it takes that one person to say they want dessert, and then everybody gets dessert, right? Or if nobody like speaks up, then nobody wants to be that guy or lady that's like, oh, I'll get something, right? If you're sitting amongst friends. But as like a host, hostess, waitress, waiter, whoever at any restaurant could use that tip. Like I said, a restaurateur. You could downsell and upsell things when people are already sitting down because there's a process there, right? There's a system there. Nobody's coming in the door and just saying, hey, let me just get a steak, and then they're just like, here, throwing a steak at you and get out of here, right? You know what I mean? You're sitting the people down, they're getting a little bit of water, some of the water's usually free, maybe some bread, getting a salad, some appetizers, right? Do you see how there's a whole system there of a whole selling process? You know what I mean? You get them in with the water, the friendly service, and the nice warm bread and butter, complimentary, right? And then they're like, and there's a guilt thing that's happening too when you're like hooking them up like that. And then they're getting a salad, they're ordering an entree while they're waiting, they're getting appetizers, they're getting drinks, right? Where a lot of places make a lot of the money, they're getting beverages. You know what I mean? They're looking at, ooh, well, look at the beverages today, are specials, and they're ordering those. You know what I mean? Racking up a nice order. And then, you know, they get their entree, and it's like, then the time to sell them dessert is like that's that magic window right there. And you could use that philosophy for a lot of other businesses too. Um, is like sometimes you have to build it, and sometimes it just naturally happens. But there's like this magic, I like to say magic moment when a customer is preconditioned, predisposed to accept your offer. Like there's no hassling, there's no haggling, there's no promotion, there's no come on down, there's no begging, nothing. You know what I mean? Everybody's sitting down eating something nice. Hey, does anyone want some chocolate cake or some coffee? Yes, please. 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 $5, $5, $5. You get what I'm saying, or however much. But again, like when they go check out and come in the place, those things can be spinning all day. They just want something to eat. But like, what is in your business that you can downsell or include in your flagship product to make it a compelling offer instead of just a product or service, just another commodity? Because a lot of you guys, ladies and gentlemen, are in the commodity business when really you want to be in the relationship business. And I'm not saying to go be in the dating business. I'm not in the dating business either. No, I'm talking about the relationship business as in customers for life. If you want customers for life, you have to actually speak to them and talk to them like human beings and give them offers. Otherwise, as soon as something doesn't smell right, they're going to just not. That's why restaurants, I don't care to ever go into the restaurant business. Only personally because it's like, first of all, you're just going to war. And no, I mean, bless the hearts of people that are in the restaurant business because they do a kick-ass job and they feed us, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of hard work. I've been in the restaurant business. I know how hard it can be. The long days, the long hours, the long work weeks, and the rude customers and the rude people. The thing is too is that like every time somebody orders, every time somebody leaves a restaurant, it's like, or comes back, it's like it could be your first or last time you ever see them. Just like with your emails, right? Just like when you're sending out your emails, like when you're sending out your emails, that could be the first email or the last email that they ever read. You know what I mean? Like if you go to a restaurant, one bad meal, right? One bad stuff, that's it. Have you ever been to a restaurant before or someone that you know and you've been going there for years, 5 years, 10 years or whatever, and then they switch the management up or something, or somebody new starts working there, or they change a recipe on something, or you find a hair in your food or a fly in your food, something grosses you out. You ain't going back there again. You get food poisoning, that's it. Done. And that's why you can't be a commodity. You know what I mean? Like, you could get people that keep coming back to you, even if they get food sick, even if they get just sick from eating food that they shouldn't be eating, bad smells, bad this, bad that, whatever it is. You can get repeat, die-hard, raging fans if you actually build a real relationship with them and be real with them. I mean, I've been to restaurants too that are kind of like a hole in the wall, but they have such a family atmosphere. They're just so like, I'm not saying like down to earth hippy dippy. I'm not saying that, but they're just like, actually, I think they're kind of the opposite. They're a little more conservative and reserved there. The restaurant I'm thinking of, and it's very very tight quarters. They serve Italian food, and there's like a bar there. But like everybody's like so close together. Like I sometimes a little like when it's really busy there, I get almost uncomfortable just eating like a big meal in front of a bartender that's probably like seen thousands of people eating meals in front of her before. It's just weird, but like there's something about the atmosphere of everybody feeling like they're at home where it's like anything that goes wrong, like small like that, it could just be easily shrugged off and forgiven because again, they built a like a relationship, like a bond with people. And that's really what you want to do in your business. It doesn't matter what business it is. I'm not saying you have to like hug your customers and hold their hands and go kumbaya or anything like that. I'm just saying like um you want to build a relationship with your customers. Like I even have a mechanic too that I know is in the relationship business, not in the dating niche. That's what I'm talking about. But when you go there and you see the conversations that he's having with people, and that he can see that because they're so good at what they do there, that the mechanics of what they do is it's easy. Like they literally can do it in their sleep practically. But it's like the hope in people's eyes and like the relief they get when they're being taken care of like that, their car. Even if they charge more, even if they make you wait. I'm not saying to do these things. Like they could do all that stuff. They can make you wait hours and days to get your car done. They could just charge more than the rest. All that stuff. But the relationship they have, the personal experience, like you know what I mean, when they're not like trying to find different ways to make money off you, they're actually doing the opposite. They're trying to be like, hey, you could probably drive around a little bit with that or whatever, and like hit us up like in a few hundred miles, a few thousand miles when it really starts to slip, and you know what I mean, we'll take care of it. Like they would do things like that. I'm not saying my mechanic does, but good mechanics will. They'll like try to find different ways for you to kind of MacGyver your own life and just like kind of like, you know, like depending on, you know what I mean, depending on like how old your car is and how you are attached to your car and like what the purpose is for it. They're more thinking in those terms. That's why I'm saying they're in a relationship business. They're in the relationship business. They're not like some of those bigger corporate mechanic places like Jiffy Lube, and no offense, I'm sure there's some Jiffy Lubes out there that are probably really good, but like I've gone by some and you see like 7 or 8 people out there with the company shirt on, sitting on milk crates eating pizza. You know what I mean? And then it's like you see like a few people that are like the few elderly people, I guess you could say, that are or younger. It'll be like really really young people or really really elder people that are actually taking a chance with them, and you kind of just like shaking your head like, why would you go there? But like, um, I don't know. At least the ones around me are like that. It's like, why don't you go to your regular neighborhood mechanic? Because there's mobile ones, there's neighborhood ones, but like a lot of them are in the relationship business. And what I mean by that is like they rely a lot about on word of mouth, their reputation, right? And referrals, reputation, and word of mouth. A lot of businesses run that way. The most successful businesses, in my opinion, the ones that are like, I'm not saying the super elite ones that are making the most amount of money, but I'm saying the most successful businesses are the ones that have been able to sustain their business without having to like buy a bunch of crappy advertising and be all about their brand, right? They were just about showing up for the job, like building that reputation, being like a man of your word. Like, I'm going to do this job. I'm going to do this job and I'm going to do it this way at this such and such time for such and such price, and you own up to it and you take responsibility for it. That's like the biggest one. You're a man of your word, and like you got a referral system, and it's all word of mouth. This is how a lot of restaurants survive. This is how a lot of mechanics survive, record shops, you name it. Like they all survive off that referral system, off word of mouth, off like making sure every customer gets the experience of like, this is what we have the offer, here's the price, this is how long it's going to take to do it, they deliver the results. That's it. I mean, that's how you run a business. What do people want? I want this. Okay, give that to them. Give them the result they want. So, results can be offers too. You got to think outside the box. That's why I put awesome, but I underline the ah. I underline the ah because you want your offer to be a match that's made in heaven. Because a great offer removes any doubt from the prospect's mind, and it says it's for them. It says it's for them. It removes all, like, that's what I mean. The good offer removes all that doubt. And it's like, this person knows me. this person knows me. They understand what I'm going through. They understand my struggle. I am going to put all my money on the table for them that I have. Doesn't matter. They actually take care of me. They care about me. Just the same way your doctor would, your dentist would, or anybody else in the health network that would just be really generous. Like, it's their job to take care of you, of course, but when they're nice too and they have good bedside manners, like, that's what you want to do in your business. You want to have good bedside manners, you know, like, and create those awesome offers. Because again, if nobody's buying your stuff, it's because your offer sucks. If it's not your offer that sucks, it's you that sucks. Hate to say it. But you can work on that. You can work on that. Work on it every day. Work on it. Work on it every day. And don't be afraid of sucking at first. It's why most people don't try new things. Because they're like, I don't want to do that because I'm going to suck at it. Yeah, dummy. Yeah, dummy. You have never tried it before. I think the problem with us, and it's a lot of us younger folk too, is that we expect to pick up a guitar or we pick up a baseball bat and we're going to be pro athletes or we're going to be the next Jimi Hendrix or Jimmy Page. No. It takes repeatedly sucking for a long time. And then you suck so little, so not as often that you might be good at it one day. But every great band, musician, they weren't just born with this gift. Some maybe a little bit, and they've also got an advantage too, right? If you read any of the Malcolm Gladwell stuff, you can see how, you know what I mean, there's like that 10,000 hour rule and being born at the right place at the right time. Yes, those are all factors too for a lot of these things. And not just being born in the right place and time, because later on it's about like maybe putting yourself forward in innovating or whatever it is you're doing at the right place at the right time. You know, so don't even bother starting a new business, right? From scratch. It's if you start anything from scratch, it might not lead to where you want it to go. Sometimes it might just be better to start like right in the middle, like right where like where's everybody at right now, right? And jump in the conversation right then. But like, don't be afraid to start something new. That's why we don't start something new. And here's another tip. Stop validating what you want to do on social media. I don't know who's listening or watching this right now, but I've seen some of you ask questions like, should I do this? Should I do that? You know what? As a smartass, I want to be like, no, you shouldn't do it. No, but it's like, you need to have thicker skin. You really do. Just go and do it. If you want to do something where you feel like it needs validation, the first thing you should do is just go do it. And the last thing you should do is ask for validation. Because here's a secret. And you didn't probably expect me to tell this secret right now. But not only are things going to suck at first, right? Like, you're going to be afraid to... We're all going to be afraid to try something because we're not going to be any good at it. So it's like, you really want to give it 2 shots, right? Give everything that you want to try out 2 shots. But here's the other thing, too. You need to have thicker skin. And this is the secret I wanted to kind of let out. And I'll say it again, I'll say it a million times, is that if you have a really good idea, if you think it's a good idea on any level, don't tell anybody about it. Nobody. But I gotta tell my girlfriend, I gotta tell my wife, I gotta tell my business partner, I gotta tell my mentor. Don't. Just go and do it. Your mentor or your therapist might actually be an exception to this, because they will a good mentor or a therapist will actually put your plan on steroids a little bit. But I'm saying refrain from even telling them and just go do it. Because what happens with a good idea is that the good idea becomes, or you become, a crab in a bucket. And you know what happens with a crab in a bucket? Is when that crab with a good idea to leave the bucket leaves, what happens to that crab? All the other crabs pull that idea crab back in. And this is what happens to most of our good ideas and most of you entrepreneurs out there too. Your parents, your friends, your loved ones, your brothers, your sisters, your peers. You start sharing your idea. There's two things that happen that suck. And one thing is that, like, now you have to not only do your idea, but now you gotta please other people. Because they're gonna be like, later on, the next day, a couple weeks go by, and they'll be like, oh yeah, so where's, like, you know what I mean? Like, how's that getting the $1 million going for you? How's that building that rocket ship going, huh? Yeah, doing good, huh? See what I mean? Like, so that's gonna happen too. I guarantee it. Or because it's not their idea, they're gonna try to find a way to reel you in. And this is where your excuse brain starts coming. I heard someone brilliant yesterday on Twitter say something about how English wasn't her first language, and she mentioned her age, and then having 2 kids and a husband to please. And then she mentioned, like, you know, because I think she's a consultant or a business consultant, and she was talking about, like, the common things these entrepreneurs were kind of bitching and moaning about. And it was just funny because she was like, what is your excuse? Like, I have to please my kids and my husband, and English is my second language, and I'm such and such age. Like, what is your excuse? I love that too, because it was like, you know what I mean? Like, our brains, like, think of excuses. All right, you know what I mean? Like, we're gonna wait for this to happen, that. Just go and do it. Go and do it. Like, I like to say, and I borrowed this, I'm pretty sure from Russell Brunson and somebody else, but it's like, ready, fire, aim. Right? Get ready, go and do it, and then adjust your aim after. We spend too much time, like, getting ready, like, trying to, like, point the arrow just right, or just go and throw the damn thing, and then throw it again, and just try to, like, you know what I mean, see where you can just make little adjustments to, like, make things better. Look, it took me years to start doing these things, and it's not professional at all. Of course, I got a dollar store light or whatever. I got a makeshift stand for my crappy $20 phone that I'm using this on, and like a $10 easel and like a $2 marker. Okay, like, you got to start somewhere, and if you have a compelling offer, or if you have a compelling message, then it's your duty to deliver it. Like, really, if people rely on what it is that you have to sell, then it's your moral obligation to give that to them. It is. So, really, that's all I have to say for y'all today. I really appreciate everybody that's tuned in or is tuning in later. Thank you very, very much. I hope you got something out of this today. Again, you can find me on social media now, right? With the handle, if you call it a handle, at results required on various platforms. And if you just want to just shoot me an email, Justin McDonald, JustinMcDonald, USA @gmail.com. And later on, some other future ones, I'll drop my fax number too, because I like to communicate through fax. So take it easy. Thanks for listening and watching. Peace.